It's no.
Everybody here got the spaceman thing?
I think so. TAIM. I think he didn't get it, and I have to get it. I'll get it tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, so this is what I found out when I was on a call with Steve earlier, Steven. I think this is what it is. They call it naked PLCs. So the PLC that hasn't been touched yet. So let me see if this makes sense. Because today was a weird day for NAS. I looked at it and said, well, NAS eventually did go bullish, but it's like, okay, how do we trade this? Because it opened up here and then it slowly moved up. So it's got to be like some support resistance here, because this is where it kind of came down here to this PLC, but this PLC hasn't been touched yet. It came down here, wick down here, but never been touched yet. So I was thinking, okay, well, on a call here, I said, you could draw a trend line from here. This is where this PLC got violated and then it tanked, right? So you got these crossovers here, EMA crossovers help you out. You got this resistance up here. So you can literally draw a line from this box to where the box ended. Where was it reverse at? I want to say it was down here somewhere. I think I did on what's it called? Try here. See? So this is what I saw. Let me get rid of this here. So this is one PLC, right? That is violated, or where I say it's done, right? Because if we come over here, right, this PLC was a line at one time, right? It got formed here, right? So it got formed and it was a thin line. Like we look at a one that we have now. Where's one that we have now that's forming? Well, this one here formed and it died up because it got handled here. This one here was a PLC, right? But this one here got handled here, stopped because of this candle here, right? It came to this point. So this, what are the ones that we're looking at that are live? This one here is live, right? So, and then we saw that these candles up here hit here, right? So this is a reversal zone here, right? Because this is where prices are going to reverse right here, right? So the orange line stopped, right? See where it stopped? It stopped right here, right? Why did it stop right there? See that orange line? The whole orange line was valid, right? Where does it start? Where does it start from? Start from here, right?
Okay.
And it created a line, and it stopped right here. Why did it stop right here? See that?
Yeah.
Orange line stopped. Why? Why did this orange line stop right here?
Because it got violated.
Well, look at where did this orange line start? Started here, right? Right? This is where the orange line started, right here, right? What time is that? What time and what session is that?
18 is, that's Asia, right?
Right, Asia time, right? So it started at Asia. What do you notice about each time this starts? You notice that?
That's London. Okay.
Every time this, I call this a little histogram. This little thing here, this little shape, the little peaks and mountains. What time do they start? Every day.
So for each session, it is starting, whether it's Asia, London, New York.
So there's
Every
something
day
in
at
common
18.
you should be able to see. What time does this start? This little shape here start?
Every day at
At what
18.
at what
Start
at, right? What time is
Asian.
that? Asian, right?
1800.
So what
Yeah.
time is it now?
1842.
Okay, so 1800 is here. So it's just starting right now. You see that? 1800 is right here, right? Today's the 7th, right? Right here.
Yeah.
Do you see that? What's the difference between this and these other ones?
Not fully
When you
formed yet.
haven't formed, right? So when you start getting into these indicators, you have to think beyond where the levels are. You have to think into the levels. That's what I'm with the ADD. You have to think, you have to get deep with it. So what I'm noticing now is that each day's at 6 o'clock. It starts at 6, right? So what do we notice at 6 o'clock? That okay, it starts here, right? And then when does it end? Oh, it's kind of hard to tell,
It
but
ends
the end
around
around
London.
right, London, then it breaks out, right? So this is the same idea of Asian breakout, it's just a different form. So here's this line over here, right? So let's see if this makes sense. I can, yeah, this is the problem with old computers. Clone. This is where the orange line began, right? Right here. Orange line begins.
Okay.
Begins on September 1st, right?
Mhm.
At
Asia session. Yeah.
6 p.m., right? Okay. So this is a fresh one. At one time, this was fresh.
Mhm.
It was fresh, right? So when does the candle come in this picture? Here, right?
Mhm.
It
Well, so
wicks
why
right
don't
there,
you
right?
call that one as? But on the 4th of September at 18, there was a big red bar that went through it, right? Is that not violating it?
That's not a candle though, is it?
No, the one that go way back, 4th September.
Which one? This
Yeah,
one?
that's one. Yeah.
Well, it started here. It started here, right? We're here,
No,
right?
no. It
This
started
is
there.
this is the line right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what
That's the same session.
this is the
She's
line
talking.
where it started here, right there, right? So it has to come back to test it, right? Not because it's forming, right? So this line forms, right? It forms, right? But even though it came here, this is not a actual test, is it? It has to come back to that level, right? So
Correct.
it comes here and it goes through the level, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means it's still valid, right? Still valid, still valid. So it comes back down and breaks through it, right? It's still valid. Where does it come back to retouch it? Here, right? If I drew a
Mm-hmm.
line here, I mean, I know it's hard to see with the indicator, but if I drew a line here like this, I took spaceman off. Where did it come back to get to that line? Here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It broke here. And then when did it come back to retest it? So it has to do a retest. It comes back to retest here. And then this orange line is violated, it's done. Then what happens? So this would be an area where the market should be selling. So I'm expecting the market to sell down tomorrow, like now. So does that make sense?
Yes.
So this is where it started here, 691. And how long did it take to get over here? 97, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it took 6 days for this PLC to be violated. Let me take rid of this line here. So it took 6 days for that to be violated here. So if I remove this, now it came, remember we were saying that it came up to here and it kind of stalled around here. Now it should get ready to drop, right? From here to here. That's this whole orange line. So now we want to see what's the next POC that's in play right now. Is this one in play right here? This one here? EMA is off here. Is this one here in play? It began here, right? Right here. This one right here. Is this in play?
Nope.
Okay, so let's look at this here a second and understand why it's not in play anymore. Because that's what we have to we have to look at this here. We're looking at this indicator right here. So let me get rid of this. So everyone see what date is this here?
This is 2nd September, Asia session 18, right?
Right here, this one. What date is that?
The 4th.
4th of
Fourth
September,
is
right?
one, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so 9/4 at 6 p.m., right? So how far does it go until it gets violated?
Until 6th September when it's retesting it there.
Right here, right? But you
Mhm.
see, it stopped right here, right?
Yeah.
See where it stopped? It stopped right here. This is where the line stopped, right?
Mhm.
It stopped at 9:30. Why did it stop there? Can you see that?
Yes. Yeah.
Why did it stop there?
Well, it did cross once with those green bars,
It crossed here, right?
and then retested. No, but even before that, in that same session, the green candles crossed
Came
that
back,
level.
here, right? You see that?
Hmm.
There's a couple of things in here that we need to see so we can understand. This here started here, right? And did we have any candles cross here? When was the first time a candle crossed this line here? Here, right?
No, there's one before that also, John. Yeah, go even before
It's
that. Before that.
but it started here. This level started right here, right? The line, looking at the line right here, right? The line started right here. So this is a PLC that's developing. So the first time it crossed, a major cross would be when?
You're looking at
I
that
wouldn't
line.
count
Okay.
these. I wouldn't count these because these are still in the development stage. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
We want to see where it crossed outside of the, or where it got out of this area here.
Okay.
So if the candles, if it's forming, where did the first time a candle hit or crossed here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it crosses here, then you've got the single print down here. So this is like a kind of like a double-edged sword. So here's a single print right here that got created right here, right? And this single print created this little gray box, right?
Mm-hmm.
See that? Okay. So that means that this got put in here. So this box is going to be valid till it hits here, right? So it hit here. That's the first time, right? So the first time it hits, and it has to hit a second time. Where the second time it hit? Here, right?
Here. Mm-hmm.
Right? So the first time that it hit was here. Agreed?
Yes.
The second time it hit was over here somewhere. This is kind of right here, right?
Mm-hmm. And it
So
disappeared. The gray box
disappear, right?
disappears.
Right. And then what happened? This is a buy zone here. So what happened down the road?
It bumped up.
It
Okay.
reversed, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can clearly see that. This is a buy zone, right? Wait for 2 hits and then buy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the single print forms, candles do all this. I wonder if I can get rid of this is cool. I need to change the colors on it. Maybe I can make it less let's see. I like to be able to see the candles. That's the only thing. Let's see style. I guess I can bring the color down a little bit, maybe. Because they're kind of high. You know, so this. That maybe, let's see if that works. The yellow, green. Yeah, there we go. See? And then maybe the green. All the way down like this. Yeah, about that. I mean, you can see the candles inside there. But they're really hidden. But anyway, I'll probably get rid of this. That, yeah. Okay, there we go. I don't need that. All right. So here is this situation. So this was a single print here, and it created this little gray box, right? Once the gray box hit, once the candle hit the gray box once, this is not really a hit. You see, it needs
Because
to
it
come
didn't
inside the
touch.
house. Yeah, it needs to come inside the house. I want to see inside the house. Comes in here, then it does its thing, moves around, and then it comes back here. See how the candle hit deep? Then it what? Took off. And that's today, right? That's today. So you could have drew a trend line here where it hit and drew a trend, not this, but trend line here. See? So I was hesitant about taking that buy today until I saw this today. I would have taken that buy with no hesitation. See now, see how it's forming? It's like early, right? It's early. It's early doing this thing. So this is what we have here. So we wait for two buy. We have to wait till two touches. Touch here. What touch was this? That's 10 o'clock and then it tanked, right? So the market internals, but this is what 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So the buy that I took was in here. The sell was in here on yesterday. Then this was like some consolidation crap, so I didn't mess with that. I just got these. Today was a tricky one because it was here and opened up, but it kept rising. But when it first started, it was kind of questionable. What are you gonna need to do? So it started here, but if we would have used not many people like using the EMAs, but the EMAs could have helped us here. Because once this hit here, then we could have got this trade and could have took it all the way up. So instead don't need like to use the EMAs, but I like to use the EMAs. EMAs do help us price action because if I don't understand what's going on with this and that, I can use price action. You see how this was kind of wacky today, right? This was up and down, but it did kind of go up in a way though. But it was, so I really couldn't focus on this. Sometimes you can't focus on that. You got to focus on other things. So the EMAs would have helped here. Knowing that this hit here and hit here, then this would have put you in for a buy because once you hit here, you should be looking for buys when New York opens up. This here would have, this price action right in here, all this here would have told you we are buying in New York. And you'd have known that before that because if we're using the spaceman and we're trusting the spaceman, 1, 2, and then goes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a buy zone. So this is a single print here, right? And this was the line here. This orange line was valid until it stopped here, right?
Yes.
This green candle here violated this. So then you got a couple of candles playing around, and now it's getting ready to turn around. This should get ready to drop because it's over. It's because the way we're doing here, it violated here. So this is the sell level here, right? This is the sell level here. So we should be expecting sells.
And what is the EMAs you're using, John? Is it 2020, 20 SMA and 20 EMA?
I'm using 9 and 9, but you can use 9 and 9, 20 and 50.
Okay.
Or you 20 and 50. I was using an EMA and an SMA.
SMA.
You can take this off and use 2 EMAs, and you see the same thing. You see that once it cross a little later, right?
Mm-hmm.
But where's 930 at? 930 is here, right? And it crossed over when? At 11. So you'd have been in trade at 11 o'clock. So even though the indicators are later and they're lagging, but you still see that it's respected the trend, it's respected the trend line, and respected the EMAs.
Yeah,
So you could have
nice.
jumped in this trade. We could have jumped the trade at 11 o'clock, but I wasn't looking at that point. But I can look at it now and see that you can add this here to the rules to help you understand why this would have been a nice trade to the upside. Because a friend of mine was like, "Oh, what's up? It's bullish." So now, if this is the area that you got in for a sell here, where's the new PLC? Where's the naked PLC that hasn't been touched yet? This PLC is still in play, right?
Yes, and it's still going.
It's still
Hasn't been
going, right?
touched.
It
Mhm.
touched the gray box. See, you got a PLC and a single print area. So this here is for the single print, not the PLC. Well, they call it TPO, whatever. This single print here is for this. That red candle hit,
Yes.
that it didn't hit this candle hit. So this orange line is still valid. That's why it keeps going. You see. So what are valid PLCs down here? This one, and this one, right? They keep going, right? Because they haven't been touched yet. So if you get into a trade, if you took it non-sell right now, you can take it from here to here. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I couldn't get into a trade earlier on NOF because the market was closed. But I sure enough can get into it right now.
Okay.
So I'm
Did we
taking a
get the
trade.
sell signal on Pro, on Dyna Pro then? It usually does.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that. I mean, one way to find out.
Yeah.
Bring up what's the Pro Concepts.
And Pro Algo. I think Pro Algo gives the buy sell, I think.
It is Pro Algo.
Okay, well, let's see. Oh, it's still working. Okay, FEG's there. Let's see. It might not be powerful enough. It has to be powerful enough to warrant. See
trigger
this
a
buy
sell.
here? It has to be
Mhm.
powerful enough to warrant a sell. And then I got to look at what are my settings on this thing. What am I doing? You know, am I scalping, swinging, you know, that type of thing. So there's a buy signal right here, right?
Mhm.
That buy legit. There's nothing up here.
And plus you're looking at 30 minutes, right? John, maybe if you're looking at lower time frames,
Yeah,
maybe
could be,
triggered
right?
one already.
Could be one could have been triggered. Yeah, see, there's one
There
here.
you
See,
go. Mm-hmm.
and then look at this one here. Look at this. This is where it stopped, right? Probably just here like that. It stopped right here, right? This is where it got violated, but now I got to move over here. If I'm doing 15-minute time frame, okay. So you could probably have a 15 and a 30, and you're looking both ways. If you got a sell on a 15-minute time frame, then you could do that. So if the sell's here, where's my stop loss going to go? Somewhere above here, right? Somewhere up here somewhere. I pick
Yeah.
12,320.
The
So I
brown is
picked,
from your support and resistance indicator, right?
yeah, this one.
Okay. And do you usually pick the middle of
Brown,
that zone?
brown is well, it's really solely, but you see it matches. It's online with what's that one there? Some of these indicators they line up perfectly. Watch this. This is that's Pro Concepts, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. Let me close everything. I got nothing here. So let me see if they line up. Pro Algo is that, right? Pro Concepts is this. That's that line there. Oh, time. No. See that? This is
There we go.
this is
Yeah.
a fair value gap. You see how it lines right up on that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This brown and red are the same. You see that?
Yep.
This
That's
Porongo,
the,
this Pro
that's the
Concepts
resist-
is that. See that? How it lines right up on that?
Yep.
So I choose 12, 320, and it goes all the way down to the spaceman down to here. Okay. That's what 12,035. So that's a trade I'm in right now. I'm already in profit, like right now. Like right now. So as soon as I got in, I'm in profit. Makes a higher lot size, but you're in profit now because this is the. Let me go over here. No, these are 20 and 50, so they might not be valid right now until they start moving down. But this is a sell signal. Well, what is sell signal? 15, wasn't it? Might have been yeah, right here. Oh, there it is. Was that Fargo? Oh, sold the Saudi. What was that? No, this is
Supply demand.
yeah, supply and demand. When you see, I got a sell signal here, but I don't have a sell signal else. That's telling you the sell signal here. So I just jumped into a sell right now on NAS. Look at this. I sold NAS like right now. I jumped in at 12, 269.4. Okay.
What is
269.
your leverage, John? Is it 1:500 or 1:?
Gloves on this. Spread's 112. That's the spread 112 on Hugo's way.
Okay. No,
So-
I'm talking about the leverage. So it's usually one point move in NAS is it $50 or $100? How does that?
I
What is
think
that
it
ratio?
goes ratio's like 500 to 1. So I think
500 to
that yeah, 500 to 1. So
Every one
if
is
this,
500.
I think
right?
so. I think so.
Okay.
If the spread is 112, let's see what this is. If you jump in this with a 0.01, you'll be down, I think, $1.12. I think how that works with 12 cents, I think. Because each point is worth it's like not really pips, but on a point wise. So let's see. I'm up to how many pips I'm up? I'm up 40 pips.
You're up by 4 points.
Right,
4
4 points,
pips.
right? Yeah, 4 pips,
Yeah.
right? See that? Yeah. But if you take I mean, I guess that's a whole different lesson. Understanding that. But if the orange line stopped here and you expect the sell level here, then that's what we did. We took a sell level here. Right here. The sell level came at this point. So this candle here violated it, right? And then you had a whole bunch of other candles come around and then finally it's dropping. So it could drop to here, but this is the POC here. That's the next level of where it needs to go. And it might not get there. It might just hang around and do whatnot, but it shouldn't break this level because if it's following the rules, it should come to here.
But what about the support zones that you have in between, and not necessarily spaceman, but
These
all
are
those?
those are
Yeah,
pro algo ones.
but they still support areas, right, John?
These
So
are support areas. Yeah, they are support areas. So the thing
do you
is, you
drag?
could take
Mhm.
you can take your thing here because here's another. That's another gray box here, right?
Gray bar? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is this from here? Let's take all this off. Let's see. That's Spaceman Master. See, that's Spaceman now. So that's a box here.
And it's not a gray box though, so I don't know
Blue
what
one.
that
The
means.
blue one. Yeah. So then you have to go back and see why It's a blue one. So it came from here. So this little blue box came from here. And there's no other blue boxes on the other side, is it?
I don't think so. And it looks like a single print, but why the color
See how it's
difference? I don't
changing?
know.
See how it's changing?
Hmm.
Oh, wait, I'm back testing this way. Okay, yeah. Okay, so here's a blue box right here. So here's something else we need to look at. Here's this mysterious blue box. He said might know more about it, but I don't really, I don't really wait for him to tell me. I go back and test and look at things because I can look and see what does that mean? That blue box came from here, right? So what is this? What is the significance of that? Are the other ones like that? The other ones have like a little blue box inside there.
This is the first one I'm seeing. I only saw gray boxes till now.
But a light blue box is a single print, isn't it?
No, I thought gray boxes were single prints.
But this little blue line here at the end of the graph is a single print, right? See that?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why is it up here red?
Seb said that red ones are weak highs and weak lows.
Okay.
But
Well,
what
this
do you
don't look
do
like a weak
in
one
those
here,
areas?
does it? This don't look like no weak one to me because this one here, this is the orange print line. It stopped right here and it's reversing right here.
But that may be based on POC,
Now
not
this is
the
PLC.
weak.
So this blue box got created from this line, this little blue box here. So it created this little blue box here, right? And the blue box goes all the way out, right? So this
Yeah.
blue box has to have, there's got to be a significance of this blue box. So you got a single print here, right?
Which things are that color? Maybe that'll.
So I'm saying, only thing I see is a light blue on the side. I don't see a red on the end of these. See how it says blue and blue? You see blues on both sides. If I go back and back test this thing, then back test it now. What do you notice about each of the? Here's a red one here. Here's a red one here, right? So you have to look at the red one and see what happened. See, this is like a histogram. It's like a hand. So look at this one here. This was a light blue, and this is a red one down here. So if you look at this one here printed this little gray box right here, right? This is a perfect example right here of a perfect setup. Look at this. This is a single print right here. So the single print started off here, right? Or right in here, right? So what happened? It created this, it didn't create the PLC, because this PLC has been created all the way over here. See that? It's been running for a while. It got created here, right?
Hmm.
This got printed here. So, and it stopped right here.
Yes.
So
Because it got
why
it.
did it stop right there? Because it going through it here doesn't matter. It has to come up here, because now you're dealing with a single print and you're dealing with
POC.
a PLC, right? So the single print's here and there's another one over here. There's one right here. But this is where, well, let's see. This is where the PLC. Let's go here for a second, because this was they both were kind of created at the same place. So how often do you see a PLC and a single print created at the same place? They were both created right here, right?
Mhm.
this one and this one, because there's no gray over here. This is the opening range, right? And then this is where it dies right here. So this is where these two started here. But they started August 30th at 6 o'clock. I think what it was already. And then they went, this PLC here started here and ended here.
Mhm.
So you can look at this and try to say, okay, well, here's a PLC right here. Why did this PLC end here? Fingerprints here, right? But this PLC ended here. It ended right here. Why? Why did this end here?
Because it violated it
But how?
with that
What
last
happened?
candle.
What happened? So it started here with the candles. The candle started here.
Mhm.
It went up. It came through the PLC, right?
But it is the same session, so it doesn't count.
Okay. So then it came up. It came back up here. This PLC is still going,
Mhm.
and then it comes back up here, comes up here, and it comes here. It stops. Why does it stop here?
That last red candle, that's the one that violated it.
Right. So are there any other candles that came back? That's a retest, right?
Yes.
That's the first retest,
Well,
right?
yeah. First retest.
A major
After,
retest,
in the next
not
session.
not a breakthrough, because this is a breakthrough retest, but this is in the same session. This is August 30th.
Mhm.
So this don't count. This is
Yeah.
this is August 30th, 8:30. Same session. So you can't count that. Right? It started here. Actually the 29th. All right, so actually look at this. This PLC here started on the 29th. Started here. This one started on the 29th. Okay, so it goes all the way over here. And the first time it gets touched is the 30th, which is a different day. This is here, right?
Okay.
But it continued to go. So this here is not a violation. Why is this a violation? This is not, because it touched here clearly,
Mhm.
and it came back and it tested here, and then it died. So there's a lot of things going on here. This single print here, why is this gray box going on? It touched this area here. It touched the PLC ended, but you see this gray box still going. Why is that?
Because I think you have to count the pre-market and the market. If you look, that single print started 31st August pre-market, I think.
So that's something you have to look at and see the behavior of this, and see why this is happening. This single print, you'd think this little gray box would die out, but it didn't. But this orange line did stop right here, then it tanked. And here's another PLC here, right?
Mhm.
And it went through this PLC, but this PLC hasn't been violated yet, because it went through it, hasn't been violated until it touches it again. So that's what this is. Price started here, went through it, right? So even though it goes through it and retest, it has to come back to retest it for it to be done. So it comes back, and it comes back up here, and it comes back to retest it, and it's done. So this PLC is done. They got this new one down here is forming. So it goes through, Even though it goes through, it's still valid, right? So it has
It's
to
still
come through.
valid until, yeah.
It has to come all the way down here, all the way down here, all the way up here till here. Now it's a sell zone here. Now you sell right here because it's done. So where's the next PLC? This orange line here. And it breaks through it, right? Breaks through it. So it's still fresh.
Mhm.
Comes through here, comes through here, comes through here. This orange line is still going, right? Still going, right? Even though you had sales down here, because you have other PLCs you're dealing with, but this is still a strong PLC. Then you got one over here. But this PLC here, if you just look at this PLC here, and the next time it hits, it's right here. And what's happening? It's selling off, right? There's a little bit of draw, a little bit of a pullback, but it's going to sell down. This is the sell area
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So you could have waited and got a sell right now. Let's see, am I up? Am I negative or positive? Okay, I'm negative, but it's going to go up and down. This is the way it is. But it's a sell signal here. So this line here should be a decent sell signal all the way down. Where's the next one that's forming here? This is forming. This one here is already in play. See? So you would think that you would take it all the way down to here. This one's not. This one's just forming.
Okay.
So this line's probably going to go out more as price continues to go out.
Does that
Here's
mean
another
the
one here.
forming?
Hmm?
Does that mean that the forming single print is a blue in color always?
Well, that's the question I didn't find out. This little blue box is something I haven't seen yet. That's
Okay.
it. A blue box. I don't know what that blue box is, but it's right here at this light blue in here. But I don't see a blue box anywhere else on here. See. See, it's either light blue on both sides or red. Here's a blue box here, right?
Oh yeah.
Right, it's a blue box right here. So what does this represent? It
If you go
stopped
to
right
the
here, right?
yeah, and if you go to that settings, I think that blue color means something. Style.
I don't know what an SP1 is. I have to figure what I don't know what that is.
I thought it was
TPO
single print 1, 2, and 3.
Single print 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Anybody know what a VA is?
Value area 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so fingerprint. So these are fingerprints. Okay. Oh, maybe I'm not there, but or maybe you don't have that's section 1, 2, and 3 though. I don't think you have that. Oh, well, if you just took that off. Yeah, you gotta play with that and see. Yeah, I don't know. But it doesn't really tell you what that blue box is for, I guess. Might be something else I have to find out about. But you can see how it forms.
And if single print and POC are right above or right one after each other, I think it's a stronger buy or a sell.
Right. So look at this right here. Look at this one here. That's a perfect right there. If you would have waited for that, and this is at 9:30 right there. So this lines up, and I bet you the EMAs line up too. See? So this would have been a perfect sell here. The 80 opened up right here. These EMAs crossed, and then I bet you get a sell signal on these things. Got to see that?
Yeah.
So that would have been an if you would have entered right here, if you'd entered right here, anywhere in here, you'd have killed it. So you entered here, and you could have taken it all the way down to the next PLC, or the next, where would the next level be to get out? All the way down
The
here.
next, yeah,
So you went from, so you're trying to go, you're trying to go from
12,440.
one level to another level.
Wow.
So you go zone to zone, order block to order block. So you could have went from this line here all the way down to here. So this is a single print. So you could have went to an end of PLC to a single print here, which is right there. So is that a strategy from
It's a good 400 pips.
from
move.
here, from an end of a PLC to the beginning of a first touch of a TPO? So does that work? So find another setup. Had the same thing. Here's another setup here. You find an orange line that stops. Because why is this a cell here?
Single print.
Right?
In fact,
Is
it's a
it
double single
is this a TPO or is it a single print?
single print.
Okay, so this orange line had nothing to do with it, right?
No. Well,
Right?
there's
It
one
didn't.
POC above that single print.
Okay, but but do you see? Remember, the TPO. This orange line has to stop. Are these orange lines stopping? No. This orange line's not stopped, right? This one is here. But where's this from? This line right here stopped. See, there's a double. What's one on top of each other? See that? There's one that went over here and stopped. And this one
Yeah.
on the bottom, right? So this one here, if you open it up, you'll see two of them. You see two of them?
Yeah.
This
Yep.
bottom one started here and it stopped right here.
And the top one stopped.
Right. So why did this stop? Where did it stop for? What happened? It's not going across, right?
Mm.
It stopped right here. Why is that? See, that's another thing that you have to see when you look at these charts, because not everyone is set up correctly. Why is that cell signal up there?
And throughout this, you barely look at VOLD then, right? John, you're only looking at market internals, which is ADD.
Well, you can look at both. You can bring that on here too, and that can help you. If you
Okay.
double chart this and you do this here, what day was this? This is August 26th, right?
Yeah.
Or 9:30 in the morning. So go over here to August 26th and see what happened. It's sold off, right?
Yeah.
But my question is, why is this selling off based on the spaceman thing? Oh, I'll go. Go trading panel and do that. That's the question here. Why is this a sell here? Why are we selling here?
Right when that green candle, that liquidity grab, it happened exactly at the single print. So that's why
Okay.
it's a sell according to me.
Okay, so
That X marks the spot.
expert part, right? So you're saying that this is a single print, this blue one here, right? This gray box.
Mm-hmm.
So this gray box here, and then it got violated. How they got, because it's here, and the first time it hits, it's here, right?
First time it hits is there. Well,
So does it have to
yeah.
come hit it once or twice?
If you notice, there are two gray boxes, one below the other. My guess is it was touching the top one, and the bottom one continues.
It's like two
But
order
it-
blocks, right? It's like an order block on top of
Yeah.
an order block, right?
But you're right.
Okay.
According to me, that first one should have stopped because it
Okay, so
violated it.
right. So where did it start? This box here. I got a box here. So you got two boxes here. Now it's important that you see, where did the top box start?
This one started on the 21st.
Where did the bottom, the second box start?
This one was on the 25th Asia session.
Did the candle hit the top box or the first box? Top box or the second box?
I would say both, but the second one doesn't count. The one below that doesn't count.
So you got top box, you got box one, because one of these boxes continues and one of them don't.
Yeah, Jay, the one below is at the same day. The one which is above happened on like a previous day. So I think it
Okay.
hit the one above and then it went all the way down.
Okay, so here's what you got to look at, because this, you have to train your eye to see this. You got box one and box two, right? The candles here hit box. I mean, did they come? They got to come into box one or box two. Did they hit box two or box one more?
Box two.
Box one continued, right?
Yeah.
Why? You see it continue, right? See a little green, see a
Yeah,
little green
yeah.
line here? The green line splits those two together, right? A
Yeah.
little bit. So box one started on the 21st and it's been going on. It went past 25th, right?
Mhm.
But box two is continuing. But what happens to box one and box two when you go over to when you move over? Which one stops and which one keeps going? They both keep going, right?
Yeah.
So they haven't been violated yet, right? If they were violated, then you would see it stopped, right?
Mhm.
Why are these boxes keep going? Even though it hit here, right? And you can sell off here, but these boxes are still in play. Why are these boxes still in play? Do you see what I'm trying to go with this?
I understand the question. I don't know the answer.
Okay, well then we need to focus on that. You agree that box one got created here, correct?
Yes.
You agree that box two, let me get rid of this one here because we're not talking about it anymore. We're going into depth analysis. This is what I do when I create these rules for ADD. This is what I did. I kept asking myself these questions. I don't know the answer to these questions. How do I get the answers to the questions? Well,
Mhm.
we just keep digging at it until we find out what's going on with it, because Seb could explain this all day long, but until you go through this and analyze it like this, you're never going to understand it. So here's the question. Here's box one. Box one continues all the way up, right? Keeps going. Box two starts here, and now box two joins box one, right?
Mhm.
So box one and box two are still going, right? Right? You see this is what?
Going.
They
This is
keep
what?
going, right? Look
10
where I'm
days
at.
now?
Look where I'm at. Where am I at? I'm already next week. Why are these boxes still alive?
Maybe it's like you said, Jay, that they need like 2 hits.
Right. So they got hit one, but that doesn't matter. They got to retest it. This is on the retest. This is a new formation. So my logic is that what's price set down here, right? Price has to come all the way back up to 12,960. And then once it comes back to 12,960 or way up here, then it's going to tank. These are where the sellers are. It has to be 2 hits because one hit ain't working. The box is still alive. So
Mhm.
it has to be 2 hits on a gray box in order for it to be stopped. That's how I'm looking at this. 2 hits on a gray box, right? So let's test this out. These are smaller gray boxes, right? The bigger the gray boxes, the bigger the area is, right?
Mhm.
You see that right there? These are
oh,
two big boxes. So this would tell me that this is a big area to sell off.
Also, I
Right.
have another question. Are these like single prints at fair value gaps?
Some of them could be. I use this spaceman indicator here to
And
see
if they
what's
are,
happening.
Yeah,
Then it's
because
another.
I've noticed that most of them happens at the fair value gaps. So probably that's also something that we should look at.
Okay. So let's look at that. Let's look at
and
a
if,
gray box. If it's
yeah, and if, sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
and if they are, it doesn't mean that they are stronger, or is it just an additional confluence?
Okay, here's there's another blue box here. So you pick a gray box here. Look at the gray box right here. Let's look at this one right here. Right in here. You should start to see a pattern with this. Here's the gray box right here. We'll put one right here. Right? That's the start of this gray box, right? Yeah or nay? Where's the first hit at? Right here, right?
Hmm.
But it continues going. It stopped right here. So it's a 2-hit box, right?
Two
Then
hits
it
on.
has 2 hits on the gray box here. Then it reversed. It took a while to reverse, right? But come New York, it's ready to reverse, so we should be jumping in for a buy. So here is a theory. 2 hits. I think I said this somewhere before. 2 hits on gray box, right? This is a buy scenario.
But should the two hits be on two separate days?
Well, let's check it out. Then New York should be buying. New York should be buying. If how many times do you need to see this until you figure out I trust this 100%? 10, 20, 30, 100, 1,000. How many times would you need to see this setup in order to say that? If I say 2 hits on gray box, New York should be by 100. I backtest this 100 times. So BT's backtested 100 times. Would that be enough for you to say in 2 weeks, if you see 2 hits on a gray box, you buy it automatically, not even thinking about it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, that's we got to find out, right?
Mhm. And does pre-market count? If it touches in the pre-market, should we ignore it?
Well, again, that's something we got to backtest that too. So where's the box that we're looking at? Right here, right? So this, you're gonna break this down. So those are questions. Like I was asking you questions, you're like, well, I don't know. Well, that's what you do. You open it up and see if it makes sense. Oh no, ooh, that didn't go well. That didn't go too well. All right, so that's what you gotta do. You gotta do that. You can fall over your fans and stuff. It's all good. All right. So what do you have to do? So if it hits twice, right? We're looking at it, right? So it hit when the first time it hit. It started off at 6 o'clock, right? And it hit here. What time is that?
12 o'clock,
That's
New
9:30,
York.
right?
Yeah.
So how long did it take? It took It took all of Asia, all of London, and New York here. First hit. Where's the second hit? Here.
And
Have to enter the have to touch and enter the zone. So it's here.
but that's pre-market, and it just stopped.
Okay, so it hit at 9:30 the first time, and then it stopped after pre-market, right? And then what happened? It went up in New York,
Hmm.
right here. So this rule would be 2 hits on gray box, New York should buy. This is, you had to backtest this. Does this work all the time? So we find another setup. So I'm gonna put this over here, and this 2 hits on gray box. Then you go back and backtest it again. 2 hits on any gray box or sell. I'm looking for buys now. 2 hits on a gray box. It sells. It's not an automatic sell. It's an automatic sell. It sells coming in New York. Let's go down the list here. This is how you backtest this stuff.
So many
Take
blue
this.
boxes.
The spaceman gap off. And I'm looking for a gray box that started and ended. 2 touches. You could work with this one here. Let's see. I guarantee you that the next time it touches is a buy. Over a bet. Let's see if I can. Right here, that's touch 1, right?
Hmm.
When it comes back, let's draw a line right here and see where the line's at. Draw a line right here. And that's 11,457. It's better when it comes back to this point. Has it been back? Hasn't been back there in a long time, right? Look at that. I don't want to get there. That's 30-minute
10
time
plus
frame.
days.
But we can move to the higher time frames and see the same thing. Two boxes, 2 gray boxes, and 2 touches in the buy on a gray box. Wow, look at this. I just found a sell example. Do you see it?
Hmm.
Look at this. Look at this. It's gonna blow your mind. Check this out. So 2 hits on the gray box, New York should buy or sell, right? Same thing, right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's a sell. It's the same exact thing. It's just, and it's no opposite. It's the same thing. You're gonna get the gray boxes. You're gonna get you're gonna get TPOs and on sell and buy. So look at this one. Oh, this is perfect sell. Look at this. I think this is perfect. Let's see if this works. I gotta get the I gotta wait to the forms. Now you're gonna love this example. Check this example out. Oh wow. Hold on. Oh wow. Oh, this is perfect. If you don't see this example here, this example right here is perfect. This is a perfect example right here. Right here. Right? So where's the first time this hits? Right here, right? That's hit 1. Where's hit 2? Right here.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did it hit here, but there's another single print up here that it creates, and then it goes all the way out. You see that one?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is a double whammy. But you could have the EMAs crossing right down there, and they got self-signal right there, and my little, where's my little supply indicator? In there, let's see. That's not showing up there. But look at that. Start of the single print here. Oh, this is beautiful. Single print. Form. Single print's here, right? So single print's here. Create the box. Hit 1, right? Hit 1. Then all you gotta do is wait for the second hit. So all you gotta do is draw a line. You just put a line here. Put a line right here, and put a an alert on it. But it's in New York. So all we're waiting for is New York to come. And it came right in New York. It came here, it came all the way through here, and boom, we just sold right here. You would sold right here, and you would have rolled it all the way down. And then another position here. Here's another little blue line here. And you would have sold this baby all the way down to a PLC or the next let's see what the next, or the next single print down here. Because he's breaking through other levels. So this is where you have to manage it, because once you get in here, if you sell here, then you're gonna have to manage it, because it's gonna come back here to retest this zone, and then come back again down here. So you'd have got out here someplace, or you would have got out on the. This is where you have to decide we're gonna get out until it violates one of the PLCs. This PLC ended over here, so this PLC ended here, so you could have went through here. This PLC was forming, so you kept going, hit here. So you could go to, I mean, you could do a couple things. It all depends on how long you want to hold it. You just would
And at
have
that
to
point,
manage it.
okay. And at that point down below, if you see, the ADD is at that chop zone though. And things like these confuse me, John, because it is red, it is going down. No, not that one, the first cell that the one before that. Yeah,
This,
yeah. So around that cell, if you look, it is going down, ADD, but if you were to be looking candle by candle, it's still in that chop zone of plus to minus 1,000.
yeah, it is. But if that's why you gotta use other confluences, because you would have drew a trend line here, and you would see that it's going down.
Okay.
This here is just telling you that there's some retracement and some stocks, and that little green candle is a retracement. So you got some retracements here before it actually went down, but the overall trend is down. And if you look at the higher time frame, I'm sure that on July 22nd, NOS was going down on the 4-hour candle. So the 4-hour candle would have told me that it's still a downtrend,
Okay. So that's how you look at it. Okay.
because I can look at the higher time frames to see, what's happening.
Okay.
But here's the perfect example. Right here. 2 hits on gray box and you buy or sell. And then you got to determine, why do these PLCs end? Why did this end here? This one started here. And why did it end here? Why is that? Why did it do that? See how that candle's violated, right? That whole line started there on the 17th and it ended on the 19th. Why is that? Any ideas? So look at that for a second. It hit. Remember, it has to do two touches, right? That's the gray box. But even this had some touches here, but it continued going because it's the same day, right? Then the next day it continues, and then it comes here, but it breaks through that. So here's another example where you would think that it would shoot back down from here, right? It would go back down, but it didn't. This is a regular one here, because look at the thing that's happening here. The ADD is above 1800, so that's a bullish day, right? This is a bullish day. There AMAs are crossing up. This clearly broke this, right? This is a brick of structure right here. Right there, right? A clear brick of structure, and retested went and kept going up.
Mhm.
So this PLC is a weird PLC. I mean, it has a red thing on it, so maybe that's why it was weak and it continued to go up. I don't know. You have to, every time you see a red color, you said that was weak, right?
Yep.
So go back and see, does that really matter?
I don't. As far as red, I don't know if there are good cell zones or.
Well, that's why you have to go back and back test. Just because someone tells you it is or not, I mean, I don't take no one's word for it until I go back and back test it. Somebody say, oh, if the ADD is above 1800, it's bullish. Okay, show me.
Hmm.
So what is this? Let's look at this for a second. The rule is 2 touches, gray box, buy or sell. Here's a gray box right here. So this gray box went from here all the way to here. So based on the rules, I should be selling down right here,
Mhm.
but I'm not. What happened? It's going up still, right? This is supposed to be a sell zone. It's supposed to come down based on the rules. So this here, it gets trumped out. So if I was expecting to take a sell, I got burned.
Oh yeah.
But look at this. The ADD is above 1800, and everything's going up. So this rule here is violated. So just because you get 2 hits on the gray box doesn't mean you're gonna buy or sell. Because up here should be a sell. All the other ones have been buys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or a sell. This one's a different one. So then you have to look at all the other conditions. Oh, it's an uptrend, and the ADD is above 1800. So you can't say, and then it broke above that. So sometimes you're gonna have, just because you got a gray box stop doesn't mean that's gonna be a sell right there. If we believe that, then we'll get burned every time. So we have to use common sense, and we have to understand, okay, well, that's a sell zone, but what happened? It finally did sell up here, right? But it took a
Yeah.
while. took a while. Maybe price was pushing up more. We don't control that. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, you have to use your price action and common sense. Because if you waited for that and then you put an order of a sell, you got burned. You'd have clearly seen that, okay, it's still bullish. And then everything else is telling you that it's bullish based on everything you see.
Yeah.
So let's go back
Or-
to this
Mhm.
where I'm at now on a sell. Because it works, but remember, everything's not 100%. This is damn near close to 80%.
Yeah.
Because in this situation here, I could have got burned. But it's after hours, so I'm not dealing with ADD in that particular way. Right now, I'm in a sell right now.
So what do you do when it's after hours then, John? Do you just work on other indicators and just ignore this one? Or is there a replacement for this one for after hours?
I don't normally trade after hours. I might go to another pair, look at Forex something.
Okay.
But this here worked right now. This worked on this right here, right here. So this, post this here so you can see it. Look at how this works right here. This is what I'm currently in right now. And this here proves that it works. I can move it over here. Let's see. Look at this. See that? This,
Sweet.
this. Oh, see, I'm not even looking at the. Yeah, well, that's good to know. But that's come from this. We looked at this. Why the orange line stopped? So in this case here, it's supposed to reverse, and it did. Where I'm at now. So this example here backs this up. This is the reason why I can do this. And it's not that many pips.
10
Right?
pips. Yeah, not even 10
Yeah,
pips.
Not
6
right.
pips.
It's not that long,
Seven.
right? 69 minus this. Like 14? No. 269
6
minus
pips.
56.
56 to 66.
12
13 pips.
269. Right? Minus 12 256. At 13 pips, right?
Into 500? Is that how it, into 3?
So how would you figure that price out? 12.269. That's not it. 12.269.94 minus 12.256.06, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is how many pips? That's right. And then times, how do I get that amount there? Times 3,
Times 3. Mm-hmm.
right? See how
41.
that works? And then you move the decimal
Oh,
twice. See that?
okay. So 10
So
point. It's
times,
$10.
how do you
Okay.
times it? You times it by what?
10. Is it 10?
Oh,
100.
times 100,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
So if I go back, so 12.259.94 minus 12.256.04 equals this times what? 3
3.
is this. Actually, no, that's not right. Hold on, I gotta go back. I had it right the first time. 12.269.94 minus 12.256.06. Okay, got that, right?
Now
1388
it's correct. Yep.
times
3.
3 lots, right? It's this. So that's times 100. right?
Mhm.
So that's $100 a pip, right?
Okay.
Right?
Mhm.
$100 pip. That's how we figure that out. So that's only 13 pips. That's not a big move, right? You see, that's not
Yeah.
a big move. It's a small little move, right?
But it's about catching that right.
Right. See this
Right.
little move right
Correct.
here, and this little I guess they call TPO, whatever you want to call it. It's forming. So it might come down to this level here, right? It mounts off. But this is a pro algo level, right? It kind of lines up with the other one, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. And do you ever have a buy and a sell going simultaneously though? At different price points, Jay?
On the head sometimes,
Sometimes.
but
Okay. Like you're on a sell and you don't want to just knock it off with a loss, but you just do a buy instead.
yeah, that's if I'm confused. So if you
Okay.
hedge, that means you're confused because you're trying to catch it. You're in the middle of a sale and a buy, and you're in an area that is you're not sure, oh, should I sell or buy, because you're trying to guess. So sometimes you do that. But
It's not ideal, but
nah, not really. But this is only 13 pips, so I mean, I really wouldn't even be selling this. Really, honestly, this is a small little move here. See that? That's a
yeah.
small move. That's a really small move, and it's Asia, so it's slow.
Okay.
But the prices are going. It's going to consolidate till it drops down. It's not going to It's not going to have any volume until London.
London.
There's
Okay.
no market. There's no. It might move a little bit in Asia, maybe around 8, 9 o'clock, but there's really no movement here, so it's not going to do much anything. But
Okay.
this is a scenario here where it works. The level works. Other scenarios might not have that. So
Okay.
you have to see, because not every 2 hits on a gray box will work, depending on the time it is. Then you have to look at, well, if the ADD is above 1800 and the EMA is across from up, I'm not looking for a sell. I don't care what this spaceman thing is telling me. You got to
Okay.
use common sense on some things because you'll get burned. But
Yeah.
some of these other scenarios are good scenarios. Like today was a perfect scenario to see the AMH crossing up,
Hmm.
trend line going up, and you had 2 single prints here, right? So you want to buy it. This one works here. It worked here because everything else was going up. So that 2 hit on the gray box has to be in the same realm. So everything has to be lining up for a sell or buy or it won't work. That's why them other ones over here were violated, because everything has to be on point. Because you can take any random day and just try to see if you can go back and see. Like, let's say if I wanted to go back in time to a random day. Let's say I want to go to some random day, January 4th. How about that?
What did you click there, John, to go to that specific date?
This calendar here.
That one? Okay. Okay.
Let's go back further. Let's pick any random day. Let's do June 8th of 2021. Okay. There you go. It's last year, right? This is last year, right?
Last year. Yep.
Right?
That lower year.
Right? Last year, right? 2021.
Mhm.
Let's go back to COVID. I don't know. Pick a day. I don't care. August 4th. Go there.
Everything will just be zooming at that point.
All right. So where are these people? Gotta show up somewhere. Palm, I hate your boys. The boy candles, you can't find them. Just because you go back this far doesn't mean you have price was that time. What happened? 14? Probably was lower. There we go. See, there they go. They're somewhere. All right, so we're here. We're looking for 2 gray boxes. We're looking for 2 hits on a gray box, buy or sell, for it to do its thing in New York. So we're waiting for Spaceman to reload here. And we got, so we got. So what we got? Maybe it doesn't go back this far. Maybe it's too far. Remember, it's dealing with data. Right? Well, maybe it's too far. Let's try to go back. Maybe 2020 is too far back. Try May 2021. How about that? Sometimes you don't get enough data to go back. Might be too far back. Sometimes the indicators can only go so far back.
Or maybe you need to have that back test on, like Seb was suggesting.
It is, see? But it only goes back so far.
Okay.
It should be far enough. At 2021. It might be too far back. It doesn't seem to be loading. Let's go to here. 2021. This might not come up. Up that. Okay. Sometimes the got the 4 hour time frame to see. Yeah, maybe too much. Sometimes you can only go so far back. But you should have enough information here to back test it all the way until it's a matter of finding 1 or 2 areas where it actually worked. So we looked at these areas here. You can probably look at some other areas. The shorter ones are probably not as clean because they have been touched pretty quickly versus the ones that are longer. Here's one right here. So here's another one that does not. It doesn't follow the rules. So this one here doesn't follow the rules here. So this one started here, right? So it started here. And it came all the way back over here and ended here. Right? So it should have tanked at that point, right? Here, but it didn't. What happened? It broke structure, and the ADD is above 1800, and it's a bullish run. So this is
It-
another scenario of if it breaks the level, then it's going to violate it, and then you got to keep buying or selling. This is the buy, because when it comes back up here, it should sell, right? This should be a sell zone right here, but it's not because it broke past it. So here's an example of if it breaking past the little single print and continue to go up, and eventually it did sell at a higher point.
So the rule is make sure that ADD is at least not extremely bullish, like above 1800.
Right, and then also make sure that because you're gonna get price that's gonna break a single print. It did there. That little blue zone, this little gray zone right here is a single print, I'm thinking. Actually, probably not. Where's the next level at? You see, the data doesn't go back further than that.
Yeah.
This is June 10th. You see, I don't have any more. Let me see if it's gonna form. See, I'm gonna get these little hills. They got a hill. I don't have a hill over here. See?
I think it's one of those blue bars that's a value area again, and I don't know enough about value area.
But this area, this little green, yellow area, I should see one over here, right? I don't have any more over here, see?
Yeah.
It stops at June. So maybe it doesn't go further than that. You see how all the other ones are there?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have one over here. So I can't tick this box. So look at this little gray box right here. It starts right here at 6. So this would have been an area here, see?
Mhm.
And then what happens? It ends here. So we can look at this one right here. Look at this one. You can zoom in right here and take a look at this one right here. Look at that. Let's look at this for a second. It definitely leave it this one here, man. Let's see if this will work out. All right. So that's the beginning and end of there, right? So we can follow the candles here. Right. So it starts here. And where's the first touch? Oh, I see why. I can see why.
There
That
it
makes
is.
sense. Here's the first touch right here. Right. First touch is right here. And the second one is here. What happens? It breaks through it, and then it decides to go back around. So you had to wait. So even though it hit here, it violated this. Then it comes back down here to this new one, and then it takes
And
off.
then bounces.
But this was at, see, it was still selling though. See, so here's one that you'd got caught if you're thinking, oh, once it hit here, I should be buying up. No, because in ADD it's below 1800 and it tanked. So it still
Mhm.
continued to tank a little bit down here. So this would have been hard to sell because you'd have came in and you'd had to get in at 930 here. See, 930. This would have been a difficult one to do if you didn't understand it. Because someone would have got burned in here because there's a lot of choppiness in there.
Yeah.
If you took this sell, you'd have to use the price action of London up here 430 cross, and then this candle came up here and it touched this little EMA. This is a sell candle right here. This is a sell candle right there. That little upside down hammer, upside down candle is a sell candle. So you could have got into 830 and wrote it down. You had a pullback here and then the rest of the day, but this would have been 830 to 1030 sell. So that'd have been a tight sell. You could have got that, but that's not really that's kind of a choppy day. That's kind of you're going to be risking. You have to really be sharp with that, and you have to really be on your entry with that if you was to take that. You could have taken it, but you'd have to be really sharp with it.
Or we just keep moving the stop loss like you do for NAS.
Yeah, you could do that.
And then
Um, you'd have to be very, you know, so this would have been a tight, but you could have got then, if you was doing London, you'd have done it earlier, but this would have been a tight one here. But it did show what it needed to do. It hit one, hit two, it broke this, and then it came to the new one and it took off. And this is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's the 2 o'clock. That's after lunch. Right
Yeah.
up. So this would have been, that day of trading would have been very challenging if you weren't looking at all the pieces of it. Some people would have not taken that trade because it's you know, but I'm thinking that just because the ADD, you want to look at after hours, you can get some information here. This is 9 o'clock.
If they were already in a trade, yeah, they would have been profitable, but
Oh yeah, big time. But if you weren't, then you'd have got burned. And here, this is tight. I don't know if I would have taken that. That's not an ideal setup with everything set up, you know, AD, everything else. You're looking for setups that are ideal, that you can hold. And it didn't really hit. I mean, it hit the gray box twice. So you have to, like I said, you have to backtest these things because just because it hits the gray box twice does not mean it's going to be an automatic sell or buy. It did wind up being a buy, but you had to wait up until like what, the next day. So here's an example. Here's a gray box here. So if it comes back here, then it should be a sell. 12,150. So it has to come back up here. 12,150, which it is. So this gray box, see where it ended here? It ended. And then you take a sell down a little bit. Eventually did turn around, but there was another PLC up here. So you could have taken a sell here. When it turned, you could have taken a sell right here, but this is after hours. So, you know, you're kind of waiting for the next setup. So this PLC would have been the next setup here. This would have been the move here to take it down a little bit. But
and
then you
right
saw
there when the previous one was ending, a new single trend started. So that was continuing.
right, this one up here. So this one stopped, but this one up here was running.
No,
But
the one
this,
even down below, there are two of them.
you mean down here?
No. Right, up, not way up. Below, yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, some of these were still running. When this one stopped, there was a little bitty one running still.
Yeah.
So that's one on top of one, I think. This one, once this one ended here, the bottom one ended. Looks like it's one, looks like it's one big one.
Yeah.
And then this little bitty one here from this one here. This little bitty one here is entangled in this other one.
Correct. Yeah.
So once this hit here, you could have got a little sell, but this is 230, so maybe you wasn't looking at that. Once you hit here, then this is a nice little sell in New York. Could have got that. And then you got a little retracement, and then it sold off again. So, and then it really sold off.
Yeah.
So then you would have been messing around with this until you got this in here. But once this price action here comes, this is after hours. This is 11:30 at night. So, you know, you're looking at it like right now, it looks clean because it's back testing it. But when you try and look at it in real time, then it does something different, you know. But this, what this works over here, this can work if you find the right setup. You know, if it's bouncing off certain areas.
If we have a POC and a single trend and it somehow lines up with that Dynapro FPGs,
That's probably a nice setup like this here.
Perfect.
See, that's a sell here, but
There.
when you've taken a sell here, because this wasn't being violated, but it did violate it here. So this was a perfect setup. And single print here, hit one,
Mhm.
and then hit two here.
Mhm.
This is the first hit, second hit. Then everything lines up. Because I mean, I know the Seb thinks these
ADD
other
was
indicators
going
are
down.
trash, but I don't think they are trash. Because you have to use everything in your arsenal. So
And we
if you
don't
don't
have to
use
look at
everything
it
in your
first.
arsenal,
We can look at it. Yeah, we can look at it. We can look at this first, our spaceman first, and maybe just have that on the side or something.
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna trash them because you know, the indicators are cool. I mean, may not be the ones you want to focus on, but you can use those indicators to help you. And if everything lines up, then it's primarily going to be a pretty good opportunity for you. I mean, you could just use, okay, I'll just have this and this. That's all I need. Okay. Well, the sell signal is sitting up here. Where's the see, and then I have I like this higher high thing. I personally like it
Yeah, yeah.
because then it tells me where's my higher highs at.
More than anything, it helps me draw trend lines faster. I just
Yeah. See, and look what happened. It was at a higher high and it sold. See, I mean this long candle here would have been nice anyway, but you could get another. There's another indicator on TradingView that shows bullish engulfing and different types of candle patterns.
oh, is it candle patterns? I think that's the name of the indicator, right?
It could be. There's so many indicators on TradingView. You could spend a lifetime researching all of them.
Searching for them. Yeah.
There's thousands of them. But right there, that hit two, I would have took a sell. I already see all the price action already in there. That would have been a good sell for me, and that would have been a good day. What time is this? This is at 9:30. Now this is a good sell. This is right at 9:30,
Right
right at
there.
resistance, right there on that, and then boom. It's not somewhere tight in here, and I could have wrote all that down. That's what you want. If you can find a day like that, then you're good. That's what that's what I'm trying to focus on. And you can also focus on, like I said, the price action because you still have to create the different things, you know. If you have those things, it has to be something you can do. You know, if you
Did
gonna
you
do that.
remove the auto harmonic pattern then, Jay? Was it getting too crowded?
Which one?
The
Oh,
harmonic.
yeah, that's it is because like I was gonna use it. It was getting crowded. There's that other envelope thing you can still use.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was getting a little crowded.
Okay.
I mean the spaceman is it's crowded. So I'm just trying to see, you know, I would like to throw maybe another indicator on here just to kind of see. But I got so many boxes on here. I gotta be mindful of the boxes and where they are and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think them other ones will work on the forex pairs. I wouldn't use space.
Oh,
Well, you could use spaceman on forex pairs. I haven't really tested it out.
okay. It would be amazing if it works on forex pairs. It could
Well,
just
then
be a
again,
one-stop shop.
you gotta back test it. That's the thing.
Supposed to.
You gotta back test it. I think it does, but the only way you can know for sure is you back test it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was looking at this with him with natural gas. So sometimes you gotta change the hey, look at this. I sometimes you gotta change the ticker on this thing, see? And you gotta play around with the ticks on it. So sometimes you have to play around with the ticks to see what you can do with it. See, I have them here. Wow, I was just talking to Seb about this the other day. I said if natural gas comes down to this zone here, it's a buy zone. See that? One, maybe. You want the hills to look a little bit. You know, it's either spread apart. You gotta play with the settings. So see, these things are different. They don't have hills. So you got that. And you have to have your little hills here. Auto tip like this. See? Now I got that. So it's kind of congested. Can't use internals in it because it's 4 hour time frame, so it don't really work.
Okay.
But if you look at this here, this is you do it on a 1 hour time frame, might be a little cleaner.
There you go. Looks much better.
So where are the levels at? Well, here's one here. Yeah, I might have to take some of this stuff off. Then it has to have this. And play with the tick or not. I don't have that at all. See, it's off the grid now. And you gotta change it. What is this? 30. 1 hour. What's the 1 hour time frame? I have to go to H4 and see. H4 has a different H4 is gonna be daily. H4 is daily. It's weekly. That might be a little better. Watch. There we go. A little better. See, that's a little better. See?
Yeah.
So natural gas, where's the, see how this yellow line stopped here? Orange line stops right here. So it formed here, went over and it came all the way around and it came down here and stopped.
Yeah.
So this is a buy zone right
Okay.
here.
For natural gas. Okay. You
This is a
guys were
buy
talking
zone right
about this
here.
today morning.
Right. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
this might be a buy zone right here. So this should go up. Now we don't know where. It could go up here,
Where? Yeah.
go up here, or go up here. But it is a buy zone. It's starting to turn around a little bit. This in this area down here. So this is violated. But so this is is an interesting area because it's been selling off. So just because I got to buy here doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go up. It violated here, so it might take some time. So this might be a zone here. This is probably a zone right here. And here. Buyers might be here. So it's going up now, but it's just no, you don't see any volume. It's just small little candles. So it could go up that way and it might not. But it's at a zone. So it's possible. But I'm trying to flip this for oil because oil's at 82. And oil's doing the same exact thing, you see. See how it stopped?
Okay.
So this little gap, look how far this gap was. Here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 24. So oil should be moving back up. It's right here. 82.44. So based on this here, it should be going up because it stopped. The little single print stopped.
Can you trade this in MetaTrader?
Yes.
I never played natural gas.
Hugo's Way don't have natural gas. You gotta go to K2X. They used to have it, took it off.
Okay.
Oil, you can trade oil.
Oil. Okay.
Oil's at 82. It's going to go back up.
Okay.
I just don't know,
When?
when, right, and how it's doing with the dollar, but it's gonna go back up. Just have to get these levels to the point where, I mean, oil's been tanking. but I haven't. I wasn't looking at it. I was looking at Nas, whatever else. So that's the thing. So I guess you got to still get on another call with Seb to see. But it's just one of those things.
Maybe over this weekend.
Huh?
Maybe over this weekend. we could-
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of things he still knows because he's been playing with it a little bit more. But you got to back test it. And this 2-hit thing works, but if it breaks the zone, then it doesn't work. So you have to be aware of that. There's a lot of little things here and there, but you can let me show you something else. There's a lot of things that you can use at your disposal if you know how to use it. This I showed ADD to another person. They wasn't going to buy. They weren't going to buy a subscription to a Faceman, but they did break down. She broke down this here. You see that? Let me see that or not. Can I make it bigger? She's using like these, but see that?
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
So this is the
ADD
free
message.
space. This is the free space man.
Okay. What is it called though?
I don't know what I don't know what I don't know what the
Indicator
free
is?
space man is, but she's using break a structure. She's using other stuff. Change a character. I don't know
Is
what
this
it,
in
I don't.
Trading View, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she has the AD magic candle here. She has the EMH card, like I was telling you. The breaker structure was here. Broke structure. So today was a day that you could have traded Nas because it had the breaker structure. That's what this was over here. That's why we could have traded Nas today because it followed the breaker structure, and then we also could have the price action. So the price action meant that where did Nas open up? It opened up somewhere between a little bit above 1,000
Okay.
here,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
But since
So
it
you
was
have
chop
to
zone, yeah,
chop
I
zone, right? So
wasn't
how do you
sure.
do the chop zone? No one was sure, but this is why it's a chop zone, right? So then you have to. It eventually did go up a little bit. It was slow, but then we have to wait. We got to go in and see. Well, I wasn't even thinking about this, but if I would have had a brick structure was over here, so if you would have had a line here someplace, or even this PLC right here, if you had this PLC right here, it broke that PLC. See that? So you can use previous PLCs to help you, because what happened? It broke that level, kept going. It not only broke it, but it retested it and kept going. And there's another indicator on here that I saw called orb. See how I put the price on it? It gets kind of you have to take some of the
Yeah,
other indicators off. So you have
yeah.
to take this off, this
I saw
off,
this one. Yeah, Seb, I think mentioned this one.
this
This is a
off.
good one. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this one here, you get the opening range, right? And then it's in this box here. And then it broke out of that box,
And
right?
then it
And then it kept
kept
going up.
going.
And it
Yeah.
kept going past the 30%. It kept going all the way up. So I mean, you could have that, if you're going to use that, but you have to decide, what you're going to use on it.
Okay.
Me personally, I like using a previous PLC, put a line there. And if it breaks above that, it did actually break above and retest it twice. This is like 12 o'clock. So you could get that 12 o'clock push.
Yeah, and that's a 30-minute candle too. So we could hold it all day.
Right, yeah. So the 30-minute candles, right?
Yeah.
and it didn't. I mean, and then EMAs were all clearly was above. So if you
Yeah.
put all that together in a package, then you can see that it's worth, okay, you can buy it. That's just another level of confluence.
Can we ask them what that indicator is,
Which
John?
one?
That free spaceman one?
Oh, which one?
The this volume profile that the spaceman free
Oh yeah,
indicator.
I know what that is. I have it. I wanted to
Is
get
it
the
the
other one
same?
because it is,
Okay.
but it's a little bit more juicier. He has
Oh,
a free
okay.
one. That's
I have the free one. I just want to make sure
that's
that I
this
have
one
the.
here. I think what's the spaceman? I think it's this one. I think it's space time profile regular spaceman BTC. This one here.
Okay, I'll take a look at that.
I think that's that. That's the
Okay.
one I was using, but it's not as. I mean, you can use it. It's just not as.
Of course, it's not as great as the paid version.
No,
Yeah.
it's not from what I've seen. See, let me take this off. It's the. See this. This is the master one. You see that? Let me take everything off so I can show you the difference. All right, so this is what you got here.
Okay.
So the free one is this. Okay.
Yeah, I think it has the POC, and that's about it. It doesn't show single prints very well. See that POC is a brown color, and value areas are barely there.
So you
And
got
that's it.
that. You can use this, right?
Maybe just for
But
POC.
but when you come in here and you use this guy, look at that. See the
Oh
difference?
yeah, yeah.
A
Wow.
lot more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some lines match up. I mean, you could really lay both of them on each other, but look at these. Look at this. Look at this single print here.
Yeah, that doesn't exist there.
You ain't got that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So you could come in here and look at the levels, but look at the level right here. So you get the level here, bounce right here,
Mm-hmm.
and when's the second time it hits? Over here. It bounces here again, then it goes up. I mean, you literally don't even need to have anything else but this and Spaceman
This one. Yeah, yeah.
ADD. This one here is okay. It lags a little bit.
I've never seen this. I have to test this on individual tickers like Google or Apple or things like that. But I think this works on indices, gold, and natural gas from what I see now.
Yeah. I mean, this really works well on Forex pairs, but I mean, even if you were to bring in, like, say, UJ, it worked the same way. You could take the market man off, and look at this. See, I'm getting the signals are coming up more on the but then you have to change the Spaceman to a better ticker.
So for 30 minutes, it is auto take. Okay.
It'd be daily.
Okay.
But you have to play with this to see because you want the mountains. So you have to play with this to see.
If auto tick is on, that doesn't work.
Oh,
No, but you see how far the lines are?
you want them to be close together. Maybe
Right.
15 is. Should we try 15?
You have to play with this to see.
Lower is normally closer together.
I put it down to 1.
Auto tick was on at the time though. Auto tick makes it not work.
That's how far apart they are. I'll see what I'm saying. Might be just the same one. Yeah.
You can make it like lower than 1, I think,
It's
like
disappeared.
decimals.
Oh,
That might be too small.
oh, there you go. Yeah, good point. See, you've been doing your homework, man. You're doing your homework, man. That's good. See? So then we got that here. We can probably move it up a little bit, right? Yeah, it's good, see? Not that, but 0.10.
How close do we want this to be, though? Do we?
That's good
Oh,
right
there
there.
you go. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. See, there's UJ. Okay, so let's look at EA. Okay, there's some bars there. Let's see. This is you're gonna have to change the ticker again. See, each one is different. 0.10, 0.20. No, we get nothing. So
You might have to make that one bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. Each ticker is different. I think that might work. Okay. I'll make it 5. Let's see. It's not even showing up. Yeah, so some of them work, some of them don't. I guess you gotta play around with it. 0.35. Yeah, it's not even showing up. If I go to a high time frame, let's see. See, this supply demand pull because it works really well on forex pairs. Not too much on let's see the stuff. So
Do you trade multiple forex pairs simultaneously, John, or is it just a couple of them every day based on what you see?
a couple of them every day.
Couple of them every day. Okay.
Actually, here you got this here. Where's that gray area coming from? Here. Must be a box or something. I'll be playing around with. There you go. So there's one here. It works. I mean, he's called Spaceman BTC, so it does work on Bitcoin. But I don't trade Bitcoin that much. Gold. You could come here. Take this up. Okay, so that's good. You can work on this. Okay, so let's look at this. There's a buy zone here, right? So hit here, and it came back hit here. Now it's buying up. So that's legit. So, all these things you got to play around with. But to be honest with you, I just use it for NAS. I just wait for a good day. I wait for a trading day that happens. Use that. To me, that's the best way to go. So, any questions on that? Pretty good, right? Oh, I think I'm trying to find out. Should I put it on YouTube, or should I just put someplace else? D, right? But I think that's gonna be it for me today. Am I still there? Yeah. Anybody else? Before I set sail.
I'm back, but yeah, it was good, man.
Yeah. So hopefully we got some good information. I mean, there's always learning to go with it. This is a strange concept. I don't even like know what to call it. Strange concept, and not a lot of people going to get this because it's a new concept, and it's different, but it works.
It's definitely pretty solid. High accuracy, looks like.
Yeah, you're going to get some trades that won't come out the way you want it to come out, but some mostly do. Like today's trade really made sense when you added all the other parts to it. So, are you guys able to download the videos? I was wondering if it's better to put on YouTube, man.
I can. I really anyone should. It's a MP4 file. Everyone should be able to download it. It uses the what do you call it? The movies and TV app that's like
Yeah.
on the computer.
Yeah. I guess it's
I mean-
easier to get it on YouTube, but some of the stuff is like I mean, some people will get it, some people won't get it. But I gotta find a title for it. I don't know what to call it.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah, think of a title. I'm gonna render this video. Think of a title to call it.
I'll yeah, let me see.
I mean,
Just TPO Concepts, maybe.
everybody get that? Okay, I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
Sounds good.
Concepts with ADD. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine.
I guess I don't know. I don't know what to call it, man. It's so many things. All right. Anybody else? It's gonna take a lot of practice because, like I said, I've only had this for a week. I had ADD for like what since it's August.
It's been
I
a
had
little
it.
bit.
I had it in June, not June. I'm sorry. I had it in July, and then I started using it. Then I started using it like to death in August.
ADD.
Yeah, I only had ADD for like 6 weeks. It wasn't like I had it. Imagine if I had this like two years ago.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I only had it since like beginning of August. That's why I fell in love with it. So
I don't
and
ever
then
see you using ADD, right? John, you use MI always.
oh
They're the same, but
yeah. I mean
yeah.
The market internals, yeah. I mean I call it that because it's concept is that. Only thing I don't like is the high-low index don't work on anything higher than an hour. Because stocks are only traded on the lower time frames. Because they're assuming that you come to the market every day. But this high-low index is an important factor too, because it helps out too. I'm just trying to see what parts in here you need. Probably the histogram, I'm not sure. But I mean, there's always ways to tweak this. But I saw today would have been a great day to take a buy. Even though, like I said, it was choppy. It was choppy, and I was kind of like not going to it. But a friend of mine told me that, oh well, this ADD wound up being bullish. So she said, well, we need to tweak the rules. I was like, well, no, tweak the rules. You got to tweak the price action that you're using. And I wasn't even looking at price action today. I just wasn't taking that trade. But when I look at it now and say, oh, well, there was a, it was bullish and then they broke that pattern and then, had that one. I mean, really, what was nice about it was that it hit that thing twice. That should have been my key to get in. I saw it going up. And I was like, damn. But I didn't get into it. I think there'll be some trades on Thursday and Friday. But this was the perfect example here, where it hit twice. So, win some, we lose some. Oh, everything else. I'm going to end this recording.
You guys have a good one.
Yep.
All right,
You
too.
guys too. Thank you so much.
Right. You're welcome.
Thank you, John.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Let's see.